Hello, good afternoon, and welcome back to the Football Terrace. Thank you very much, as ever, for tuning in. I see the comment section. I know the notifications came through via text message. I know a lot of you received the emails as well. We are just in a test phase with that. If you want to sign up to a guaranteed notification that we've gone live at the Football Terrace, please right now go into our description below, sign up to our mailing list and our newsletter. The newsletter is going to come out bi-weekly. We've got some massive competitions on the way as well. You need to be signed up to it. Over 1,800 people have now signed up in the last few days, which is amazing. But we're here to talk about Paul Pogba. We're here to talk about the situation this morning. Big news spreading that, you know, he's going to quit the France squad. He had a falling out with the president of France, this, that, and the other. And I saw him being attacked on social media this morning by so-called football fans in relation to this. And I'm so glad that Paul Pogba has come out. I'm so glad that Paul Pogba has shut down the nonsense, has shut down the BS. I cannot tell you how happy I am with him for doing that. And I genuinely mean that. We're going to go through what he has had to say about this situation. We're going to go through what has actually been said and what has been stated. But before we go any further, please smash that like button, hit the share button as well. We're going to take your phone calls on this. We're also going to speak about Donny van der Beek, the story regarding him and the backlash around Van der Beek keeps sort of picking up traction, keeps getting spoken about as well. So we're going to be going through all of that with you today. Thank you very much, Mark Hanley, for your super chat. Really do appreciate that. Boss Robbo says, best thing, I just got a text message. Best thing, I just got YouTube. Don't need you, big up Terry. Oh, you got the text message. You don't need YouTube. Well, there we go. Most of you won't get notifications from YouTube. We know that for an absolute fact. At least I know you all got that notification, which is amazing. Thank you all very much for signing up. And this is something we're going to grow over the course of time. It's not going to, we're not going to send them for every stream straight away. We're going to build this up. We're going to test it. I'm working with a company that are working alongside us for that. So a big thank you to everybody that's tuning in so far and everyone that's got involved with this. Make sure you get yourself signed up to that newsletter right about now. Now, the story this morning was that Paul Pogba has quit playing for the French national side due to some comments made by the French President Macron about Islamic extremism in France. Now, I read the article last night and I almost ignored it. I ignored it because, how do I say this? I ignored it because I simply didn't believe it. I ignored it because I didn't trust what they were saying. And I just went to wait for this morning. And I waited and I saw people tweeting about it. I got phone calls about it. I got text messages about it. I got DMs about it. Terry, have you seen this news? Have you seen this news? What's going on? Paul Pogba's being attacked by his own fans. People are saying that he's a disgrace. People are saying that how dare he not condemn extremism? How dare he quit playing football for the national? Does he support I saw people even asking the question, does he support extremism by not openly condemning it? And I'm sitting there thinking, what is wrong with people? How dare you? How dare you attack Paul Pogba over this? Like he's done something wrong. And the source was The Sun. And I'm thinking to myself, yo, how are you even considering this is true when it's come from The Sun? The Sun newspaper. And then Paul Pogba has come out himself. He hasn't just quashed the rumors. Paul Pogba has absolutely slayed the mainstream media, absolutely destroyed them. And this is what he said. He went, so The Sun did it again. And Kasem did it again. The Sun did it again. Absolutely 100% unfounded news about me going around, stating things that I have never said or thought. So can you imagine this? This isn't even a thought of Paul Pogba's. They've just made this up. Or we'll come to that in a minute. It says, I am appalled, angry, shocked, and frustrated. Some media sources use me to make a total fake headline in the sensible subject of the French current events and adding the French national team to the pot. I am against any and all forms of terror and violence. Unfortunately, some press people don't act responsibly when writing the news, abusing their press freedom, not verifying if what they write produce is true, and creating a gossip chain without caring if it affects people's lives and my life. I'm taking legal action against the publishers for spreading this 100% fake news. In a quick shout out to the Sun, who normally could not care less, who normally I could not care less about. Some of you guys probably went to school and will remember how your teacher said, always check your sources. Don't write without making sure things are true. But hey, seems you didn't, and a very serious topic this time. Shame on you. Absolutely right. One, taking legal action. Secondly, for shutting down anybody that believed this was true. But this goes beyond just the Sun here. I'm calling people out like Troy Deeney. Troy Deeney has now started writing for the Sun. How can any of these pro football players, how can anybody with any level of decency accept work for the Sun? How can any of them get paid by this rag that continually prints lies about football players, abuses Paul Pogba, has abused Raheem Sterling, started to abuse Mason Greenwood? So the likes of Troy Deeney and anybody else that works for them, shame on you. And by the way, you virtual signalers, I am holier than thou, YouTubers especially, that I know go and work on a weekly, monthly basis at TalkSport, shut your mouths as well. Shut up with your hypocrisy. Shut up. You're happy to take a paycheck from News Corp. You're happy to have them push your PR. You're happy for them to make you bigger, to get you a blue tick, to make you famous, to earn your money. But then you want to kind of sit on your high horse and act like, oh my God, isn't it a disgrace that News Corp, that the Sun, that all these, the tabloids are lying about our footballers. They're being bigoted. They're being this, they're being that. Shut your mouth, bruv. Hypocrites. Every single last one of you. Every single last one of you. And when I say Paul Pogba needs us, I'm not even talking here primarily about Manchester United fans. He needs all of football to have his back. When are we going to stand up and look square in the eyes at these lying media outlets? Do you know what? Not just getting information wrong. Not just, I heard Paul Pogba's got a twisted ankle. Turns out it isn't true. This is an emotive, deep, destructive story to publish. And it isn't the first time, and it isn't going to be the last time. You wait until these right-wing rags try and get hold of Marcus Rashford. Sorry, I'm frustrated. I can't speak properly. I'm just appalled by it. I'm appalled by it. Appalled by the whole thing, right? And do you know what it is? If you want to go and work for the Sun, if you want to go and work for TalkSport or News Corp, I'm not going to attack you for that. It's a free country. You're free to do as you want. I won't just attack you because you work there. Don't tweet out your anger at what they've done to Paul Pogba and then go and work for them. I won't do that. Not that TalkSport know who I am, not that they care who I am. If TalkSport ring me today, going, Terry, we want you to come on and talk about free Donny van der Beek as a Man United fan. I'll say yes, only if I can address your disgraceful treatment of Paul Pogba. If only I can address the disgraceful treatment of Mason Greenwood, then I'll come on. Are any of you ever doing that? No. And the reason I've got to do that is because I've condemned your stories. I don't want to hypocrisize myself by, let's just go on the, I don't know, Alan Brazil's sports breakfast. Oh, I'm rubbing shoulders with the celebs now. Look at me, Mum. Look at me, Mum. I've made it. Yeah, but what about your principles? What about your morality? I don't care about that. I'm getting paid, bruv. Fools. What I hate above, do you know what I hate above these right-wing outlets? The virtue signalers. The ones who pretend to be angry about it, but would jump straight into bed with these same publications tomorrow. Clout! That's all they want is clout. Fools, mugs, all of you. Get off your Twitter accounts and actually stand up and take action. Or don't moan about it. If you don't moan about it, cool. Simple as that for me. Monsar here says, this news is not targeting him as a footballer, but him as a person and his life and targeting his character. Absolute disgrace from News Corp. You are bang on. Bang on. That is the point. This isn't about him as a football player. This isn't about his form. This is about him, the human being. And they're trying to be subtle about it. But it's as obvious as you like. It really is. We're going to delve into your calls now. Before we do that, get your super chats in. Hit the like button. That's really important. You will smash the like button right now. And aside from that, please sign up to our newsletter. The link for that is in the description below. Over 1,700 people have signed up in the last 2 days. We need more of you to do it. It's great that you all got the text message notifications that we went live. I know hundreds of you have had our email notification for this video as well. Make sure you're opening and clicking those notifications and coming through those means as well. Let's jump into our first call. First call's with Ram. Ram, what do you make of this Paul Pogba situation, bro?
Sorry, I didn't hear you. It's a little bit.
What do you make of this Paul Pogba situation?
Look, it's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting. Like, I'm not surprised that something like the Sun would do something like this. They have a track record of doing stuff like this. Quite recent, like a year ago, they did a puff piece about Ben Stokes' personal life before with his parents and the tragedy of their family. So it's absolutely disgusting. But I'm not surprised. I'm surprised that even people like endorse this kind of thing, which is just absolutely, it's disgusting. Like, it just gives me shivers down my spine.
Yeah, I hear you on that. I think for me, I'm not shocked at the Sun. It's more the fact that I saw people this morning kind of angry at Pogba. You know, one tweet I saw from a fairly prominent person on social said, and I'm not going to quote them word for word, I'm not going to go verbatim, but they basically said, why doesn't Paul Pogba use his platform to condemn the extremism? It's like, one, he doesn't have to. Not condemning it doesn't mean he supports it. I mean, it's a crazy notion. And it's a very serious thing to be going out there and talking about. Yeah. One, if you don't have the knowledge on it. Secondly, you're putting your family in the firing line. These people are psychopaths. Why does he have to do that? And then in his statement debunking it, he condemned it in there anyway. And he condemned all forms, because it isn't just about, I'm going to condemn this one type or this one type. It's just a madness the way he gets treated by people. Nobody was willing. It's like nobody was willing to wait for the dust to settle before talking about it. And I said it on my stream this morning. Let's just wait. I knew Pogba would respond to this. He does. He shuts it down. And there we go. Ram, thank you for your call, mate. Next up on the show, we've got Elite KJ. Elite, what you saying, brother?
Yo, I'm sick of these pagans, fam. I am. Like, I'm tired. Like, Terry, I know you said on the just before I came on and just before Ram came on that you're not gonna really say anything to anyone who works for the Sun, but yo, fam, I am. If you work for the Sun now, or you think about working for the Sun, you're a pagan. I don't care, because you can see these men and what they're doing. And for me, if you voluntarily work for them, for me, I said you got no morals. I believe that you are just going there for the quick buck, and that you are a pagan, innit? Like, it just is what it is. You're an up. If you work for the Sun, you're an up. Because if you're in there, yeah, I don't care what level it is. If you're a junior writer, you can see what they're doing and be like, actually, no, this is disgraceful. I am not standing for this. And if it costs you your job, yo, it costs you your job, innit? There are many news outlets out there in this modern day world. There are many news websites out there in this modern day world that would love to have you and writing actual news content instead of this tabloid BS that all it does, it goes to attack footballers, attack celebrities, attack people, and make up lies about them. So I'm sorry, all you people who work at the Sun, especially ones that are higher up, especially ones who commission all this stuff and tell the reporters, tell the journalists to write this stuff. You guys are pagans and ops, and I hope that business burns to the ground.
And you know what? I don't disagree with anything that you've said. My approach to it is always very much, we're afforded a lot of freedoms living in the part of the world that we do. So I personally, you know, people want to go and do that, want to go and work there. I don't go out. I'm not an activist, so I don't go out my way to try and stop people from doing that. You're absolutely right in terms of the character. If you go there and work there, it says something about you. I mean, Troy Deeney working for the Sun, it smacks in the face of all the hard work he was doing in the summer surrounding BLM for me. It doesn't compute Does that make sense? It's like a vegan taking a job at Bernard Matthews. Do you get what I mean? It's like,
yeah. I want to address a couple of things in the comments. One, someone said if the Sun offered me a chance to be a Man United correspondent, I'd bite their hand off. No, I wouldn't, because one, I don't want to be a Man United correspondent for anyone. I don't want to be no journalist, fam. So one, you're wrong. Two, it's the Sun, so screw them. And another guy said, sounded like BLM, burn the business to the ground, you know, lefty logic. Fam, you don't know me, fam. I'm not saying to actually go and burn the Sun to the ground. It's metaphorical. Engage your brain. I'm not in the mood, people. Like, I'm sorry, but
exactly right, bro.
What's happening to Paul Pogba and many players? And I'm not even just saying black players. I'm saying players in general. When it comes to the media, is disgraceful, and I'm sick of it. We're all screaming mental health, mental health, mental health. Yeah, but some people are the first ones to go on there and be like, "Oh well, Paul Pogba, he's making this about himself." What are you talking about? How is protesting, if he actually did it, how is protesting a form of making something about yourself? The fact that you're trying to vilify him and make it a egotistical move that he potentially would have done, or any player would do by protesting, is, to me, is disgraceful.
Yeah.
We all are out here protesting for NSARS, for BLM. Cool, I'm with that. But as soon as someone else protests for something that you don't like, it's apparently an issue. Get out of here with that, man.
Yeah, I think as well with this story, this isn't the Sun saying Paul Pogba's had a secret meeting with Zidane, which would frustrate people, but that's a professional thing, right? That's just his way of going about looking at a move. It's frustrating, but it's not personal. This is about as emotive. If you look at what's been going on in the world over the last 5-6 years, this stuff's been massive. And for me, it was produced and published and framed in a way as if to say Paul Pogba supports the extremism. That's how it was framed. And I read it again. So the president condemns extremism, and that makes Pogba want to quit the national team. That sounds... Do you get where I'm coming from? The way they tried to frame it was terrible. And even if the journalist at the Sun, I don't know what his name is, I don't care what his name is, somebody came to him with that information, it's such an emotive story. For me, what you need to be doing is going, right, we're going to contact Paul, we're going to contact Managerial, we're going to contact Man United and see what they've got to say. Wait for Paul Pogba to respond and say it's an absolute lie. If they're then going to print it, you print it, but you say, we reached out to Paul Pogba and this was his response. That's how... I've got no issue with the freedom of the press. The freedom of the press should be allowed to print what they want. But what they don't do anymore is go for a response. What they don't do is get the other side of the story and present you both. Do you get where I'm coming from? It's like it's just manipulative. It's a dog whistle to certain people in this country, and it's a disgrace that Paul Pogba is continually treated this way. It just, again, dampens and damages the way people look at him and the way people feel about him off of a complete lie. And the thing is, for a lot of people that pick up the actual paper today, or just read the fallout this morning, or they heard it on the radio, a lot of them may not see Paul Pogba's update. A lot of them may not go back to tomorrow when they print a little paragraph to apologize for printing the mistruth. No one sees that little bit. What they won't do is spread it over the back pages tomorrow that we were wrong. Right? They never do this type of thing. And that's what really, really gets to me about this. And it's an absolute disgrace. And we know what they're doing. We can hear the dog whistles from a mile away. You know, as the super chat here says, they're adding religion in and his lifestyle to the news as well, which is a disgrace. It's just, and you know, it's just, they did it on New Year's Day when, you know, he was out injured and, you know, he was listening to an Islamic prayer in his car, and they made a thing about it. It's like, so what? It's Muslim. If I was driving in my car and I had songs of praise on, is that going to offend anyone? Like,
well, yeah, because everyone gets offended nowadays. You know what I mean?
But you get what I'm saying, bro? Like, the whole thing, man, is just an absolute disgrace at the way he's treated, and I'm sick to my back teeth of how, what, why, and everything else along those lines with it. It's just it's embarrassing, you know, and It really is. KJ, bro, I appreciate you coming on, having your say as ever, my man, and we'll speak to you again soon. Top boy. Cheers, mate. Thank you. Next up on the show, we've got Russell. Russell's with us. What do you make of these Paul Pogba stories, mate?
Hi, Terry.
How you doing, buddy? Give me your thoughts on the Paul Pogba situation.
Absolutely hate it, man. And this is really annoying because I see this as hate media. What has Paul Pogba done to the, I don't want to say English media in large, but what has Paul Pogba done to the Sun? What has Raheem Sterling done to the Sun? You know, we're living in a world right now where we're fighting different problems on different fronts, and these guys just won't let it go, Terry. They just won't let it go.
I couldn't agree with you more. They've done nothing wrong. They haven't done.
They just won't let it
And do you
go.
know what? Like, let's just say Paul Pogba is unprofessional in the dressing room. This is hypothetical. Let's just say he's not committed to Man United. Let's say he hasn't been great in a Man United shirt. There is still no justification for the press targeting him. He isn't, he didn't kill a trial with drink driving and got away with it. Like, you know, like if he'd done something really bad and got away with it or whatever, then I can understand him being a bit of a hate figure and a target. Do you get what I mean? Like Katie Hopkins. If people like, someone says something bad about Katie Hopkins, I kind of get it. She's a nasty piece of work. But Paul Pogba's not done that. They target him, Raheem Sterling. Rashford is going to be next. At the moment, what they're doing to Rashford is smart. They're building him up at the moment like a saint because he's doing all this great charity work. They are digging through Rashford's bins right now, looking for a story. They are looking for something that they can fry him under the bus with because it will create a big splash and it will earn them money. And the fact that these men are young, successful, wealthy, and have melanin in their skin, that makes them an even bigger target to these bigots.
And that's the truth, bro, because with Rashford, I think he's got a strong head. Trust me, anyone can crumble from this. Anyone can crumble from this. Don't get me wrong. My major worry as a United fan, and I can see it bubbling, and I'm happy with him being not in the team, is Mason Greenwood. People keep calling for him to play football right now. I'm glad Ollie's taking him out of the spotlight because I tell you what, Terry, I saw it build up, and I was like, okay, here we go again. Here we go again. You know, and it's like, it happens all the time, and it takes away from these players. I ask you, Terry, if Paul Pogba was to reply to every fake story the Sun has produced about him, how many Instagram tweets do you think, or Instagram posts do you think Paul Pogba would have to put up? You know,
he'd probably have to probably employ somebody. And I think today was just almost the straw that breaks the camel's back, because I think Paul Pogba, Raheem Sterling, they can take the stories of, Paul Pogba went to Asda today. Why did Paul Pogba buy a t-shirt in Primark? I think they can take that and ignore it. But when you get to the emotive and serious levels of what today's story was about, I think they've done the right thing to stand up. They're doing the right thing, taking legal action. And for me, what Man United have now got to back Paul Pogba as well and ban any Sun but this is where the clubs have got to take action here. Not just the Sun, but it's TalkSport. Yeah. I want Man United to refuse TalkSport's money for covering Premier League football matches. TalkSport pay a premium to the Premier League to do exclusive radio commentary for games. I want Man United. I want Liverpool. I want Everton. I picked those three clubs for reasons that are very, very obvious. The Pogba situation today, and then the Liverpool clubs based on what News Corp did to those tragic Hillsborough Dead, the way they disrespected them. It isn't just banning the Sun. It's banning everything News Corp, including their money. I would even go this far. I want Liverpool, Everton, Man United to go to all their sponsors and be like, I don't want you advertising with News Corp. I don't want you, whether it's your car, whether it's your watches, whether it's your bottles of wine, we don't want any association. That's the only way you can tackle these people, is by going at them.
Disgrace, bro. They're an absolute disgrace. And I don't know if people in England realize how big of an issue this is, because in France, this is a political issue. And what they've done is they've spoke for Paul Pogba politically. This is a guy with 74 million Instagram followers. I need people to understand the impact of what the Sun just did. They talked, and you're right, this the straw that broke the camel's back, because they gave him a voice politically, albeit a fake voice. And like you said, he didn't even think about this. Now Pogba might have his thoughts, and he's got every right to that. But for the Sun to speak for him politically, a person of such a figure, they're disgusting, man. And that's all I have to say about them. They're absolutely disgusting.
No, I agree with you, Russell. Thank you for calling the show, my friend. I really do appreciate that. I know we missed some calls there from Z, man like Mo, etc. Give us a call back, gents. We'll get you on the air. We also want to talk Donny van der Beek as well this afternoon. Donny van der Beek, the story with him is becoming insane. I shouldn't have gone to United. He's ruining his career here. Bruv, we're a handful of games into the campaign, and the nonsense being printed by the mainstream media is an absolute disgrace. Do me a big favor, people. Hit that like button right now. Hit that like button, please. Hit the share button as well. It's so important to us that we get that done. Yeah, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the retweet button. Please get that done now. Go and sign up as well to our newsletter that is available to you. I know a lot of you receive the emails and a lot of you receive the text messages from us this afternoon, which is amazing for this show. Sign up for free now for the mail list and the newsletter. Some massive competitions on the way where we're going to be giving away a PlayStation 5, football boots, a brand new one of these Rode mics, never out of the box, some HD cameras as well. But you need to go and get yourself signed up right now. Click on the link in the description below. Get yourself signed up as a member. Can't express to you enough how important that is. Just during this live stream alone, we've had about 70 new people sign up, which is out of this world. So make sure you're going and getting that done for us right now. We've got, who we got on the line here? We've got Man Like Mo on the line. What you saying, bro?
You're right, mate. Yeah, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm
right,
good.
Yeah? Listen, I just want to talk about Van der Beek situation.
Go for it, bro. Go for it.
Harry Maguire situation, yeah. And this is not me pushing an agenda towards Harry Maguire. Yeah? I'm not calling him names under the sun. Yeah, he is costing Ollie's job because what he does is plays fouls, does them reckless fouls that penalties should have been given with Chelsea game. Do you understand? What I'm trying to say is to you is he does this numerous occasions. You know what I mean? Like makes them this decision. We're better without Harry Maguire. We've seen it against PSG. Why does Antoine Zabi and Lindelof play together? Why does Harry Maguire have to play? Like, I'm not being funny here, yeah, but every single time this guy does this and gets away, we got away with murder against Chelsea. Let's be honest. I know we were better side, but they could have had a penalty and they could have won the game. Do you understand? And that's what worries me. He does this numerous occasions and he keeps continuing to do it. I don't know what's that. I don't know what's his problem. Like, but this comes down for the manager playing him all the time. And I don't want to, it's easy to say Harry Maguire does that, but the manager's the one that keeps playing him. And this has got to stop. Because not just will cost his job, innit? Too much favorism is going on. You see what I mean?
In the first couple of games, Maguire made mistakes. Against Newcastle, Maguire was flawless. Against Chelsea, yes, you can argue a penalty could have been given for the way he held Aspie. But that's not, the way he held him and the way he pulled him back, very normal, very, very natural. It happens in every single penalty box for the majority of free kicks and corners that came in. And I really wouldn't hold that against him. I don't think Harry Maguire is going to cost Ollie his job. What's going to cost Ollie his job is what people think about. Let me ask you this question, Man Like Mo.
He's part of it, though. He's part of the.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. I don't know about that. The way I would look at it is this, okay? I want to say it this way. What win percentage would make you happy with Ollie? Say out of every 10 games he plays, how many games does he have to win for you to be happy with him and not complain about him?
No, that's the only issue I have with him. Nothing else.
Okay.
I don't know the Donny situation. I can't talk nonsense about it. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if it's his buy or it's the board's buy. I can't decide on that one. But I'm saying I don't want that fridge to start. Do you understand, bro? I don't want him to start. I've got. There's no agenda with me. There's personal things of him starting. We will not beat Paris, in my opinion. We will not have beaten and what do you call Paris Saint-Germain if he was playing. You see the return at Old Trafford when he plays. It's going to be a different game. It's going to be very different.
I hear that
with him playing.
I hear that. Mo, thank you very much for coming on, mate. I do appreciate it. Next up, we have Idris Sharif on the line. What do you want to say, my brother?
Yes.
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. You just spoke to Mo. Hey Terry, how are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, you spoke to Mo, and Mo was talking about Maguire. I mean, it's sad when I listen to him sometimes because I feel like he don't get it. It's $80 million a club invest on a player. Before he came to us, he was one of the top defenders in the league. How can you put that kind of investment on the bench without playing him? It makes no sense. He's our best defender. Yes, he makes mistakes of late, but we have to play him. You have to play him through it.
I agree with you. He is our best defender and he has to play. He has been playing. He'll continue to play. And what's interesting for me is how well he played against Chelsea and how well he played against Newcastle is what we got from about 95% of the games that he plays in for us anyway. There's been 4 or 5 games where he made mistakes or been pouring, but people focus on that. And what you'll now start to see, Idris, with Maguire is people are even going to look for mistakes that don't happen. So what you'll now see is every time there's a corner and he's holding onto somebody's arm or jostling with somebody, people are going to twist it into Maguire's taking risks. Maguire could cost us the game if he keeps taking these risks. But what they do is what they're taking out of context is the fact that the vast majority of defenders in all teams do this at all corners and at all free kicks. Yeah, exactly. But this is what always happens to Maguire.
The money and plus is Manchester United. It's always big news, so people have to talk about it. That's the problem for Maguire right now. But look at Van der Beek. Van der Beek just came. We just played few games, and all of a sudden, people are saying, "Oh, he should not have come to United."
Yeah. The overreaction, the Van der Beek situation. Idris, thank you very much, my friend. The Van der Beek situation, I find it embarrassing. Van Basten, man, is a legend of this game, but shouldn't have gone there. Man United, his game's going to go backward because his rhythm's messed up because he's not playing regularly. Just give it time. Next up, we've got Hussein on the line. Hussein, what do you want to say, my friend?
Yeah, I just wanted to say with the Van de Beek situation, I find it really strange. It's like you said, it's only been a handful of games this season already, and everyone's starting to overreact. I think right now, Ollie's just taking the time in order to help him kind of, just build confidence and kind of, help him get his way there to get his first start, because he's come from Ajax. He's come from a very good team, but this is a different league we're talking about. The Premier League is more fast-paced. It's more difficult. So if you're just going to start him in his first game when he comes from, the Dutch league, it wouldn't make sense. And along with that, he's a very versatile player. We both know that. And I think right now, Ole's trying to find a way in which what role he can play, because people like to say he likes to play in that kind of attacking midfield role. But that's where Bruno Fernandes is most likely going to play with his formation. But then you also have people saying that he's kind of like a Muller-esque kind of player where he likes to play as a second striker and, kind of invade and like create spaces as well. So it's just Ole just trying to find out how he can complement him into his team. But because of his kind of playing style, I think as of now, it doesn't fit. And that's, I think, where you have these questions kind of coming up. That is this really an Ole signing, or is this something from the board?
Yeah, and I listen, Hussein, thank you very much for your call, my friend. One thing that stands out to me massively about all of this is the fact that the same media creating this frenzy about Van der Beek are the same media who said we didn't need him anyway because he was an unnecessary signing. So don't be suckered in by it. Some super chats here. First from Steve. It says total mismanagement for United. 3 goalkeepers on a massive 540k weekly wages. I don't get what's going on from the top to bottom. Stephen, I wouldn't disagree with you on that one. We know the club mismanages things every single time. Andre here says, Liverpool fan here. Klopp bought players, Fabinho and Naby Keita, and didn't start them for months. Couldn't Ole just be taking his time to get used to so that he gets used to a new system? Of course, people don't ever want to draw examples that don't feed into the narrative. And if Man United had scored in the 50th minute, they would never have panned to a picture of Van der Beek. Every time a team is drawing or losing at the minute, if there's a top player on the bench, so let's just say, for instance, Chelsea fans. Chelsea fans were like desperate to have Mason Mount not in the team. And it was like they succumbed to the pressure. If they were losing 2-0 at any point, just say it was 2-0. Chelsea were losing at 60, 70 minutes and Mason Mount's not on the bench. What happens is the cameras pan across to him and say, oh, if he started, would it have been different? This is the media creating stories. But you're absolutely right. We have Saif on the line with us now. Saif, what you saying, mate?
Hi, mate. First of all, I'd just like to criticize you on your recent video you did yesterday, saying that Ole should be sacked. I was really filming with you yesterday.
Did you not watch the whole video?
I did watch the whole video, but when you started saying, "Oh, Ole should go," Ole Wayne Schultz is not that good. Ole isn't that good manager. He doesn't play expanded football. I was really, really angry. I just switched it off afterwards. I couldn't bear it. I just want to tell you one thing. Ole is the best manager United ever had since Fergie era. He is.
Oh, since Fergie. Okay, cool.
Since Fergie era.
Ah,
Okay.
okay, cool.
Okay. First of all, look at the way we were playing.
You didn't watch my stream, did you? You didn't watch the whole thing.
I couldn't watch it because I got really, really angry.
So if you'd have
kicked my
carried on
laptop
watching,
off.
if you would have been stronger, you'd have got to the point where I laughed and I was being sarcastic. I support Ollie.
Please do not be this, Terry. Terry, you're a football channel and a lot of people are watching you. I don't want Ollie to be sacked from the football Terrace or from the United stand. Why can't you guys just be strong enough and bring these people who say, if Ollie wants to get this sacked, bring them on the show, bring me on the show, and we would educate these people. I just don't understand. I just don't understand Manchester United fans. I don't understand you, why you don't have the balls to challenge these people.
I challenge them all the time. What do you mean?
Okay, second of all, you're coming on air, you're making videos saying, oh, why don't Van de Beek start?
No, I haven't.
Okay. You said that yesterday. Oh, Mata played here. Why Van de Beek didn't play?
But I'm not kicking off about it. I've never said that.
Why Tom Swansby is not playing against Harry Maguire? If the doctor says that Tom Swansby is not fit,
mate, you're literally repeating the things that I say. Say thank you very much for coming on the show, having your say. Everybody tuning in, please hit that like and that share button. Please sign up to our newsletter right about now. Please, people. It's free of charge to sign up. We've got massive competitions giving away football boots, football shirts, microphones, and a brand new PS5. Go into the link in our description below and get yourself signed up for that right away. Super chat asking when that United show's out tonight, 10 p.m. That's back. Ultra67, thank you for upgrading your membership to a first team level. You can also become a member of the Football Terrace by clicking the join button now or the link in our description below as well. But I'd love you guys to get this video past 1,000 likes for us, please. Be amazing if you could. Next up on the show, we have Z. Brother Z, what you saying?
I'm good, mate. How are you doing today, man?
I'm personally good, mate. I'm obviously frustrated with the sun today and everything else. But yeah, what have you rung to speak about, my bro?
I've got IT issues, so I said let me call in. Yeah, so basically with me, the Pogba situation, it's such a deep situation. And you know, this is gonna go two ways because you're gonna have individuals that's gonna be saying, you know what now, how come Harry Maguire never got this, and how come Harry Maguire gets this or this? But the thing is, the situation with Pogba is always something that's going to be expected. It's the representation of a black successful male within the football industry, within music industry, within everything, and it's just such a deep situation. And the thing is, it's like Greenwood's come at the press because Ollie shuts them down, and now you drag Pogba in. It's like he's next. They're just waiting on Rashford, and after it was just a tweet not long ago from Rashford, where one of the MPs actually said that Rashford and the Prime Minister spoke to each other, and after Rashford said, "What is he talking about? The conversation we had back in June." So, like, all of this is starting to come out. They're starting to attack all of these players individually, and it's sickening. It's not great because, like you said, I always say, you know, a lie will travel around the world whilst the truth is putting his shoes on. So that's what they don't. Bro, that's what people don't.
And you know the bit that, loads of it gets to me. But do you know another bit that really grates on me, and it annoys me that football fans can't see it? When this same newspaper and this is where the Ollie out mob need to watch themselves. Genuinely need to watch themselves. In a few weeks' time, when one of these same journalists writes a damning article about Ollie. About Dolly. Ollie's done these 5 things wrong and these 5 players hate him for it because it suits their agenda and what they want to hear. They go, see, told you Ollie was bad. And this is the problem football fans have, is we will side with the enemy when it suits our purpose. You know, we saw it with the Harry Maguire situation. I saw enough people on socials who I've seen all summer, rightfully so, challenge the validity and the integrity and the behavior of police globally. Yeah, but they hate Maguire. Maguire gets arrested and says the police are lying about me, and they're like, no, police are telling the truth this time. I'm like, yo, you haven't even waited to listen yet. But people will yield. People don't. I would say a good 80% of people completely lack morality in the sense of they don't care what happens in the world. They care who's done it. Do you get what I mean? Certain people get more angry. I see this all the time on socials, and we're talking about the extremism. Some people get really, really angry. People get I want to make sure I phrase this right. People's level of anger always depends upon the type of person that's committed those atrocities. When a football player breaks the law, but what football player was it? Who does he play for? And what does he look like? That's how so many people operate in this world, you know. And we've seen these experiments done where people, they go to university campuses and they'll take, say, a Jeremy Corbyn quote, and I'll say that Boris Johnson said it, and they ask it of like Corbynites, and Corbynites, oh, that's a disgrace that Boris said that, and then they reveal it at the end. Oh, by the way, that was Jeremy Corbyn, and then they try and justify it. They're like, oh yeah, but no, actually, I see where he's coming from now.
Yeah,
people are just like that across the board, and you
crazy.
see it everywhere, and it's a disgrace for me. Like the same people condemning the Sun today, if the Sun write an article tomorrow that feeds their personal narrative, they'll back it. They won't care that it's the Sun. They'll back it 100%.
Even now with the Van der Beek situation, that's another one that's annoying me. It's just, everyone's jumping on us about Van der Beek, saying Van der Beek this. You do not see Man City talking about Torres, the Torres kid that they bought. You do not see them. He scored a goal. He scored a goal midweek, and in the Champions League against Porto. And he never got game time against West Ham. West Ham drew. But you don't see people saying, why is this Torres kid not starting? And you know, people, a lot of the press start to read. They got people need to remember, a lot of these people working at these papers are quite mature. They're quite old. And the thing is, when they get a lot of their information from social media.
Yeah.
And then after they use it to then push the agenda. When they're seeing everyone talk about Van der Beek not playing, they start going, oh, you know what? Let's publish a paper on that. And then after you got stupid, I don't even call it. Van Basten done great things for football. He ain't done great things for my football because I will focus on the Premier League. I don't really care about. He never played for England. Never played for the Prem. He didn't play the Prem, so I don't give a. As great as he was, I don't care. And they just choose to ignore it. Like they literally choose to just push those agendas and say, "Oh,
yeah,
Van der Beek's angry."
But the reason, exactly. But the reason why they're doing it is because of the lack of credibility that Ollie has as a manager. So it's easy to create instability when there's a manager who there's a public lack of trust in, and there is that with Ollie. And whether you back him or not, there's always don't know if he's quite good enough, because if Pep signs a player and he slowly bleeds him in for the first 6 months, Pep's looked at as a genius coach, so nobody questions it. If Fergie did it, if Klopp does it, etc. When fledgling managers are doing it, it's seen as he doesn't know what he's doing, or he doesn't want him. Now, what if it turns out there's a genuine issue, and the issue is he wasn't one of Ollie's signings? Then where do people stand? Because the same fans are saying, why ain't he playing? I've also said, well, Ollie wasn't backed properly in the summer and they didn't sign any of his transfer targets. Now,
it's also because he's the biggest signing. Had we got Sancho, had we got Grealish, had we got a centre-back, had we got a CDM, no one would be complaining and asking, why is this guy not playing?
Also, nobody was complaining about it when we slapped Newcastle and outplayed Paris Saint-Germain. And this is the problem. Everything, I get there's reactions to a game, but the fallout shouldn't be reactionary in the sense of, if Rashford's shot at the end goes in and Mendy doesn't pull off 3 or 4 great saves in that game, it would have worked out fine for Man United. We was very close to our plan coming off. And I don't want to live in a world where if the plan comes off to 100% accuracy, do we not moan? Because that isn't sustainable. You know, Fergie at Man United only won 6 out of every 10 games. So there were at least 4 in every 10 games where we either played well and lost, played well and drew, or played poorly and lost and played poorly and drew, or averagely, whichever way around you want to do it. And probably 1 or 2 of those wins we scraped. This notion that every game has to be picture perfect. I remember a really famous Man United game. Newcastle Boxing. I want to say Boxing Day. Could have been just after Boxing Day. Could have been just before. But I think it was Boxing Day, where we went 1-0 up and then we ended up 2-1 down, went to 2-2, and then Javier Hernandez wins it in the end. Do you know how many times I see Man United win games like that, where you come out of it going, we were defensively poor today. We got opened up 3 or 4 times today. But no one cared because you had a manager in there you trusted. The problem is you're never going to create an environment again where you trust the manager until you just relax a little bit and allow a process to go forward. Now, this isn't about defending Ollie. This is about defending the sanctuary of and position of Man United manager. And for all the people that are desperate for Ollie to go because they want Poch to come in, be careful who you side with now, because
thing is as well, people need to take into consideration why you know, Pogba has been, other than the French comment, the comment that he done once it was international duty. I can't remember the last time he's done a comment. I saw his agent doing it. And no offense to people who, you know, for example, there's a lot of fans who criticize Pogba. We like me, person who's very vocal about my criticism of Pogba. On this agenda, I'm with him, and I'm always going to be with him. But same way he came up to shut down the Sun, I could easily be one of those fans right now and be like, look, he came up to shut down the Sun, but he never came up to shut down his agent. But I'm not that type of person. I back my players.
Well, that's again, and that's exactly, and that's because where he's going to play football is a professional issue. So I'm fine with that. This is political, emotional, personal, and hateful. So of course he's got to come out and do that. I wouldn't conflate the two things, and you're absolutely right on that. But in terms of the treatment of managers, for all the Poch in crew, you were gonna be fuming if this same process is used to condemn your manager, because at the moment most people's issues with Ollie is I just don't personally like him. But your personal feelings towards the manager should only account for about 10% of your analysis. The rest of it should be how well are we doing, and don't forget the aesthetics, because if you don't like it, you don't like it. It's as simple as that. Like I may not like. You know, it comes down to this. Someone might say, "Oh, do you like that new car that's just come out, a new BMW? Nice, ugly, man. Yeah, but it's the #1 selling car this year. I don't need to like it, but I'll respect the fact that, well, it's obviously a popular car then."
Yeah, of course.
Like, you've got to look at the results, and that's what it comes down to. And since January, when Ollie was at the lowest point that he's been as the Man United manager, where he was close to losing his job, win ratio dropped down to like 39%. From that point, it's been a 70% win ratio. That means we're winning 7 of our 10 games. Since then, it's been excellent. I can't denounce and condemn that. Z, bro, I appreciate you coming on the show. We're coming to wrapping up very, very soon, but thank you, my friend, for coming on. Excuse me, as ever. Jay Brew with a super chat says, I wish United would release a statement backing him. Sorry if it's been mentioned. I'm not watching live. You are watching live, Jay Brew. I'm here watching. I am live on the air. And yes, they should come out and do that. No doubt about it whatsoever. Simon here says, Terry, do you think we will win the league? When you say we, I'm assuming you're saying that we, because that's me and you. No, I don't think Man United have the capabilities at this point to win a league title. I wish we did, but we don't. Do me a big favor, everyone tuning in. Please go into the link in the description below. Sign up to our newsletter right about now. We're nearly on 1,000 new signups in the last 24 hours. Literally 250 away from 1,000 in the last 24 hours. It would be amazing if you could go and do that for us right about now. Click on it. Get yourself signed up. And let us know if you got your notification today as well. We sent out text messages and emails. So hopefully you guys start opening up a little bit more, clicking on them a little bit more, because that'll let you know when the Football Terrace has gone live. But open up the emails that come in and click on the links. So we've got a big competition starting very, very soon. Microphones, cameras, shirts, boots, and a PS5 to give away. You have to be on our mailing list to be involved. On top of that, they started production today on the official Football Terrace FC hats. We've got trucker hats, snapbacks on the way. Really excited to bring them to the market. Red, black, I think, and yellow, and burgundy. We're having made different colors. Again, you will get notified first on the mailing list. So get yourself signed up right about now, please. Go get that done for us. It's really, really important. Listen, until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. God bless. And we'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye-bye.